all right, I've got Darren here to help you. So this is all that the customer would see on their side. And on the back end, now I've got this engaging, chat conversation I can start having with the consumer. So I can say, hi, Darren. I got to remember how to type my own name. This is Darren. How can I help? Right? And so if I jump back across over here, you can see now I've got my little, face in the screen here, and now I'm having a conversation with myself. And because I've been working out of a home office, probably like most of you for the last 2.5 months, me talking to myself is nothing new. Pretty normal these days. But let's say that to Katie's point, is like, I'd like to see the actual vehicle, right? So again, that pop-up won't happen. This would only be at the dealership level. And now I've got that, so I can say, okay, sure, just accept this link. And I can go right here and click on the little video conversation. No additional third-party software that you have to download. I just sent request live video. I'll hit the microphone to mute it because we're already on a different video conference and I don't want the feedback to kick in. But on this side from the consumer, notice all they have to do is hit start. Because I'm on my laptop, I have to hit allow on the browser. But now once I do that, here I am having a face-to-face conversation rather than just a two-dimensional chat back and forth, where I can really, deploy saying, hey, we're real on this side. And we know that COVID-19 is a real thing. And some customers really just don't feel comfortable any longer coming into the dealership in person. So we can help deliver and facilitate a full 100% online transaction. And as I continue to go through and shop and navigate the site, you can kind of guide them through it. There's so many different ways that you can apply this, not only to do that virtual walk around, because to Katie's point, most people aren't going to sit here on their laptop. They're going to jump on their mobile device, leverage the Conversations app, and go do an actual walk around. I'll save everybody the tour of walking around my house. But that's how you would actually deploy this. And it's really relevant if you start talking about guiding that customer through the actual digital retailing experience. And I know we've got 3 versions of me going on the screen here, so I will end that. There's only so much of me anybody can take. But if I click into, our CTA for our digital retailing solution is we like to use show payment options. We also like the word explore. We've A/B tested that as well. And those two kind of softer entry CTAs are higher converting than start, click here, buy now, all of those types of more aggressive keying terms. Most of our consumers actually don't want to start the buying process until they understand what their monthly payment is going to be. So if we can show them what the payment options are, again, logically, it makes more sense. But when you click into that, it's going to open up into like this kiosk-friendly type of environment. Katie was showing that in the video. This will work seamlessly in your dealership on a kiosk or on an iPad or even on the mobile device of your consumer. But the software is the same both places. So I can toggle between finance and lease. Every time I make a change, notice the monthly payment will change up here. I'll leave it at 36 months, but if I wanted to change it to 39, it'll automatically update that payment up here at the top. I will leave it at 12K. I'm not putting $5,400 down. I'm going to adjust that to about $2,000 down. And let's say that credit's good here. Again, you have a couple of options as a dealer. You can let the consumer use the slider and tell you what the different, where they fall on the credit scale, or you could introduce a soft credit pull here as well. So we kind of have an option for you either way. I know the money factor is a little higher on 39 months, so I'll go back down to 36. And then we have also the ability to factor in and add in your trade information right here in line. So if I click in yes on the trade, this is where we love our partnership with Trade Pending. The API connection we have with them is super fast and simple. So I don't know, I'm looking at a Nissan Rogue here. What would I be trading in, Kate? Maybe like a Toyota Highlander or something?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay, so I'll do, I don't know, an LE, it's probably fine. Notice again, I don't have to do drop down, drop down, drop down. All I have to do is type, and it gives me all the options that are available there. Super fast and simple. Then all I have to do is, just put in the actual miles that I've gone on my trade-in. Select the engine that I have. It's actually a V6. It is I'll say it's a front wheel drive, and boom, that fast. You've got good, better, best with regards to the actual 3 different trade-in ranges. The dealer has the choice and the option of how conservative or aggressive they want to make those trade-in valuations, so that whether you're working with Trade Pending or if you're working with a different trade-in valuation partner, you can make sure that the values are the same and you're not delivering any sort of inconsistent messaging. I'll come up here and say, all right, I'll be like a real customer and I'll owe a little bit more than my trade-in is worth. I'll also be a real customer and say that my trade-in is great because everybody thinks their trade-in is
always in great condition.
Of course it is. Yeah, that one time that I ran into that, parking, that really didn't, minor damage, Katie. Nobody's really going to notice.
Lost a bumper. That's it.
That's right. But once I actually click save and compare this payment, this is the very first time we're actually asking for that customer information. Now you have a choice as a dealer that you can put this lead gate, if you will, at the very front of that experience. You can also customize what it says. It can be, instead of welcome to your garage, like, create your VIP experience or whatever you want that to say. But now here's where I'll go in and I'll actually add my information. So if I go in here and add my name, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that at the Chicago Naperville actual zip code. Notice that we have changed the word here again, another CTA and customer experience UX learning. Instead of putting the word cell or phone, we've changed it to text. And when we did that, we saw the number of actual phone numbers that are verifiable skyrocket. We're actually getting greater than 80% verifiable phone numbers since we made that change. Why, Katie? Because consumers are perfectly cool if you text them. They just don't want you to call them.
Do not call me.
And that's super important too, gang. I'll actually show up a couple things here. We put in a phone number verification. So if I try to trick it and put in a bad number, it's going to ping it and say, wait a minute, hang on, you gave me some bad information. Can you please verify? But when this lead does come across, we want to make certain that you're paying attention to the method of communication that the customer has asked you for and how they want to engage with you. It doesn't matter which digital retailing solution you pick, whether that's us or somebody else. If you have this lead flow into your CRM and you just start firing away with the default CRM response email and templates that are in there, you've defeated the entire purpose of being able to deliver that connected experience where you're bringing the website experience into the showroom. So again, take the time, work with us when we're setting this up to make sure that that in-store process or the 100% online process both mirror and match up. Because if you're not careful, you'll create an unintended consequence just by having this flow into the normal follow-up process that you have. But if I click open garage, valid phone number, I'm immediately going to get a text that gives me my garage code key. Now, I don't have to remember what that is. Every single time that I come in or come back to the site, I can just enter my phone number and it will send me a unique code every single time. But that's also super, important when the customer comes into your store or you're doing delivery at their home or their office. It's great to have them go ahead and log into their garage so that you can see they're able to pick up exactly where they left off. And all the information in store is exactly the same as what they did at home. Now, Katie, they made it super simple for me so I couldn't screw it up.
Yeah, thank you.
And then there you go. Now I've actually added that Rogue into my garage. And it looks like I was in here shopping for another vehicle. So a bit of stealing my thunder, but that is the key differentiation for us as a provider. Up to this point, UX notwithstanding, everybody can walk their consumer, regardless of the digital retailing solution demo that you've been through. You can walk the customer through some sort of experience of how to, do the things that I just walked you through. But our difference and what we've learned from the consumer behavior is still more than half of the consumers, when we do the matchback data to the DMS, are purchasing a slightly different vehicle than the one that they sent in on a lead on. So what that tells us is that when I sit here and I go, okay, I'm around $450 a month on this Nissan Rogue, Katie, what else as a consumer can I buy for around $450 a month? And every other solution in the space throws you back out in the ocean and makes you start over from scratch.
Yep.
Ours is the only solution that gives you the ability to add multiple vehicles so that you can do a side-by-side comparison and do digital retailing against new versus used or one vehicle versus the next. So if I jump back across here into the inventory search, and I don't know, let's go again looking for new vehicles. And rather than a Rogue, let's look at a Pathfinder by way of example. Doesn't really matter. I can grab any of these here. And when I click show payment options on this one, instead of taking me back through that funnel, even taking me to the VDP, it's just going to drop that Pathfinder right into my garage and bam, now I can do digital retailing side by side. And notice that I can compare finance to lease. I can go here and take that Rogue and switch it from a finance deal to a lease officer, and wow, payment went way down. So I can even highlight that one and say, all right, that's going to be my favorite highlighted deal, and I want to slide that one over here to the left. And now all of this information is there for me as a consumer to make a really good, engaged, and informed decision. But Katie, wouldn't it be cool if rather than just sending in the lead to the dealer on this one vehicle, which is how almost every other solution works, I could give the dealer the lens into all the things that the consumer's been doing.
That would be great.
Well, that's what we've actually decided we're going to do. So now what I'm sharing with you is the actual back end of Online Shopper. So if I go in here and I just look at the total deals that are there, you can see there's that last deal that I just created, right? I've got that Toyota Highlander there that is on my trade-in. And if I click into that garage, then there's my actual garage. And it looks like I've done a couple of these here. So let's grab the one that's got all three vehicles. There we go.
Yeah.
There's my Pathfinder and my Rogue. But notice it's not just one vehicle and it's not just one offer that the customer picked, but it is a lens for the dealer into the consumer's entire garage. It's all three vehicles. It's all the finance, the lease, and the cash offer that is available for them. And I can go in here and just like I was doing on the consumer side, the dealer could make a change. Maybe there's a different money factor or rate at 39 months. That's a better deal. Maybe again, the consumer after getting on the phone with him doesn't want to put $5,000 down. I think I made these changes over here on the Rogue. So there we go. So let's say I've landed on this and I've gone through and I've made the different changes on this actual vehicle itself. Now I've landed on this, relatively inexpensive monthly payment. And I actually do want to help facilitate an at-home delivery where I want to go ahead and, help deliver this vehicle directly to the customer's house. Well, it's kind of grayed out here, but you can see it. We've given the ability for you at the dealership level to go ahead and hit send for signature. Now, what that's going to kind of look like is an intent to purchase doc that's very similar to this, right? It's a summary of all the deal information that you have put together, but it's a way to basically get that commitment for the consumer. I mean, I'll give you an anecdotal experience. I just did this recently myself, had to purchase a vehicle for my wife, did everything online, went through like signing an intent to purchase document, uploaded my driver's license and insurance card, and the delivery coordinator from the dealership brought the vehicle to my house. And once they arrived, I signed all the physical documents that I was still required to do right there in the driveway. They did the delivery experience for me, and then they took off and I was left with my vehicle.
Yep.
Really seamless, very easy to go through. And I can even kind of show you that if I do hit send for signature, what that looks like on the back end. So we loaded this up in here. We're using an integration with HelloSign. And if you have purchased a house or rented a property in the last few years, you're probably very familiar with this. But what HelloSign does is it sends you a document that's loaded up that when I click on review and sign, it takes you into preparing that document. Like I was just showing you on the summary, here's the summary document with all of my information, the Rogue that I was, picking out and looking at, the disclaimer information that you'll be able to load in specifically for each dealer. Like, again, full disclaimer, we are not loading up the actual buyer's order or the warranty disclaimer doc. Instead, this is just an intent to purchase that gets you that ability to lock in that commitment for the consumer and then actually facilitate the at-home delivery. But if I go through and hit click to sign, just so you can kind of see that experience, I can draw it in and I can do some horrible version of my initials, right?
Pretty good, Darren.
Yeah, well, boom, I've got it there and it dumps that in. And if I hit continue, now it walks me through the ability to upload my driver's license front and back and my proof of insurance. So I won't bore you with walking you through all of those pieces, but that's how you can deliver this from both sides. Even if you're again, on the phone or leveraging that video conversation, you can walk the customer through helping to fill out their credit application, adding in F&I products and solutions and aftermarket accessories. This is the section where we can kind of take them through all of those pieces. And then ultimately scheduling that at-home delivery or in-store appointment. So even if it is more of that traditional appointment, you've got everything prepared and ready. And then when they come into the dealership, they're there for minutes rather than hours. It's just that final way that you can bring the website experience into the dealership and really deliver on the expectations for your consumers.